Welcome to the Ask Jordan podcast, answering your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, he's peeled off more prices than a family of shoplifters. From Long Island, New York, here's your host, Jordan Malik.
Hello, Amazon sellers. This is the Ask Jordan podcast, 91st episode. My name is Jordan Malik. Thank you so much for making part of your day. Today's sponsor is ResellToys.com. ResellToys.com. That's my ebook that describes over 136 easy-to-find, out-of-production, and used toys games that are in demand on Amazon and eBay. ResellToys.com. In episode 88, I describe how now is the time to be sourcing toys for the Christmas selling season. And your biggest profit potential is with out-of-print and used, Amazon calls them, collectible toys and games. My ResellToys.com guide helps you locate profitable toys and games near you. No scanner required. Get it today at ResellToys.com. It's an instantly downloadable ebook with a 60-day, no questions asked, 100% money-back guarantee. And when you buy it, you get free updates for life. Head over to ResellToys.com. If you're listening for the first time, welcome. This is the podcast where we only answer your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, every episode we answer a different question from you, the listener, about selling on Amazon. If you missed an episode, head over to AskJordan.net. AskJordan.net. Do you want to hear your voice on an episode and get 7 of my best-selling ebooks 100% free? I'm going to tell you how to do that after we answer today's question. And today's question is from John. Go ahead, John.
Hi, Jordan. My name is John. I'm from the Great Pacific Northwest. I have a question regarding sourcing books. I have been doing a little bit of that, a lot of that this past week. And the questions I have is, you walk into a used bookstore. Where do you head first? What are you looking for? What publishers are you looking for? Or what publishers are golden? What exactly is it? And it's the same question for a sale at a library, and also when you walk into a garage sailing, as we're going to do a lot of this summer. What are the things that you look for in a book without having to first pull out your Profit Bandit to scan the books? What do we need to look for first? The other thing is, what do you do? I'm finding that many libraries are covering up the UPC symbols, so this information is very vital. Thank you. If you take my question, I really appreciate it, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
John, I'm so very happy you asked that question. If you're an avid listener of my previous podcast, you'll see that I mentioned used books a lot, because there still is a huge supply out there of used books that are profitable and huge demand. And then I think relatively, even though a lot of people will disagree, there's a small number of sellers versus the amount of inventory out there in terms of used books. In the scheme of things, I think what has happened is that Amazon sellers' first blush with books is when they go to a library book sale, a publicly announced library book sale, and these days you'll see 10, 20, 30 other sellers with scanners, and then people get discouraged and they exit the used book business. But in my mind, there's way, way too much opportunity out there. And I think the fact that people don't like to get their hands dirty or do just a little bit of digging around makes them avoid used books altogether. And somebody, I think it was Greg Murphy of Murph Books, who runs $1 million plus Amazon used book sourcing and selling business. I think it was him that said, or maybe not him, it's somebody else that said it's a perfect e-commerce product is the used book, because it's highly profitable, it's easy to ship, returns are low, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Versus a gadget or getting something private labeled or whatever. And it is. It's just that it's dirty in that, you handle a lot of books, and that they can be quote unquote dirty, meaning, you got to get your hands dirty. It's not like you're having something prepackaged, right? I think a lot of people find it unsexy. They don't want to be the person at the cocktail party who says that they're a avid seller of used books. So anyway, in the previous episodes, I talk about how well I've done with used books and where to find them, etc. John, when I go to a garage sale or estate sale or thrift store and I'm looking for used books, I usually make a beeline for the textbooks, because you're talking about textbooks in general. When you just look at the regular price on textbooks brand new, you're talking about a huge markup And you and I know that the highway robbery techniques of college bookstores or high schools, printing and getting these books and then selling them at a huge markup. And that trickles down to the fact when they're used, they can command high prices as well. And if the books are out of print, they can command even higher than the retail price. And the interesting thing is that used books are generally throwaways to the people who initially buy them. There is a segment of college students that will turn their books back in and sell them used back to the bookstores, or they're savvy enough to sell them online, or they'll sell them to a vendor or a well-known popular used book buyer. But there's still a huge segment of people that just, college kid comes home, he's got used books from his courses, he hands them to his parents. So I'm going away for the summer. Can you sell these in your next yard sale or drop them off at the Goodwill store for me? Thank you. And that's it. So I usually make a beeline for the textbooks, John. I will also look for kind of obscure nonfiction. I'm just making up a title here. How the Wright brothers almost invented the ice cream machine or something like that, right? So anything that's nonfiction that looks biographical, autobiographical, that you don't really see a lot of, I'll usually check that out. Stuff that you don't recognize. I won't, if I see an autobiography on Andy Rooney, I know that's not worth anything. I'm going to bypass that. But if it's something that looks obscure, like a person I've never heard about or an event I haven't heard about, and it looks the book itself looks a little bit old, that's usually an indication that there might be some value in there. The same thing with books that have no barcode. Most of your scanning programs can still look up a book on Amazon, even if there's no barcode. You just have to type in what's called the ISBN number. It's usually the number that's stamped on the back. I think that sometimes it begins with like 978, or it's on the inside. I think all books printed after 1974 have barcodes. Pretty sure. Anything before 1974 do not. So if a book has no barcode, it usually means it's been passed over by other competing sellers, because they were too lazy to look it up, or they were just going for the low-hanging fruit and just scanning the books with barcodes. And the ones without barcodes, there can be a lot of value in there. So I'll make a beeline for that too. If I'm in a place where there's predominantly books, I'll look for DVDs, CDs, VHS tapes that are still sealed. Those are ones that bring the most value, the brand new VHS tapes. And I'm missing one. CDs, DVDs, VHS tapes. Oh, video games, like video games for the PC or for the PlayStation, etc. Because those tend to be considered throwaways as well. And you're in a book sale, people are normally looking for books. Or if you're in the thrift store or library, garage sale or whatever, there's always where there's books, there's probably other media, the fancy word for anything containing the print or electronic word, right? CDs, DVDs, etc., VHS tapes, and video games. So let's see, cookbooks, obscure cooking books, right? As opposed to just like your typical Betty Crocker published, 3-4 years ago. There's cookbooks that seem to, if it has like a quirky title or a very unique cuisine, that's one type of book I'll make a beeline for. Anything that looks like a centerpiece book, like a coffee table book that's in very good to excellent to new condition, I'll take a look at those because, you know what I'm talking about. Those coffee table books are like they're not your typical format. They're like a big, 18 by 20 inches or 24 inches, golf courses across America or whatever. That's really a bad example. But there are coffee table books out there that are coveted, that people want. And coffee tables go out of print pretty quickly. A publisher will make initial production and they'll stop. Ansel Adams, maybe, big coffee table books of artwork. Those can fetch high prices as well. Many home repair, do-it-yourself, fix-it-yourself books, home and auto, those can fetch a high premium. Niche books on gardening can sometimes fetch a high premium as well. Not if these time life landscape books, probably not. But if you find a book on growing Japanese perennials year round or something like that, something that's seems like a real niche topic, those can fetch high premium as well. So John, that gives you a great head start. Go to the show notes for this episode 91. I'll have a couple of links for you to get some more knowledge on used books if you haven't seen them already. John gets all 7 of my ebooks about selling on Amazon and eBay. John, just head over to AskJordan.net, click on the small envelope icon near the upper right-hand corner of the page. Send me an email so I know where to send your ebooks to. And if you, the listener, want to submit a question to the podcast and have a chance to win all my best-selling ebooks like John, call 516-619-ONLINE. That's 516-619-6654. Or head over to AskJordan.net and scroll down, look for the directions on submitting your question. Hey, thanks for listening. This has been the Ask Jordan podcast. See you again in our next episode.